It's week 1 of the 2023 season, and we've got some history in this battle of AFL alumni. It's the Broncos and the Chiefs on Monday night.
From one of the loudest venues in the NFL, there's a look at Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. Tonight, we'll have the final 2 games of this kickoff weekend, and we begin with a great one here between the Denver Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, a new season finally here. We had the great one Thursday night, all sorts of intrigue in the games yesterday, and now we put a bow on this first weekend with a good one here tonight.
We do put a spotlight on key games, don't we? Even key nights. Thursday night has become a spotlight night. How about Sunday night? But there still is some magic to playing on Monday night, and these two teams are feeling it.
Here's the kicker, Harrison Butker, ready to get this one started. And we are underway on a Monday night. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. So here are the Broncos now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 5'11" quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
And similar to his nickname, Russell Wilson has a dangerous mix of skills, the ability to throw from the pocket and extend plays and throw on the run. Not to mention an absolute winner. Usually has his team in the playoffs competing for Super Bowl opportunities.
Wilson going to come out throwing. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
Here's the first carry for Kenyon Drake. And once again, not much running room, if any at all. Crowd getting in a bit already. Here's an early 3rd and 10. To throw is Wilson. Steps away to his left. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the first at the 32. Their opening drive here is going to result in a punt. They got 7 yards there, but not enough.
That was a good effort there, trying to do it on his own. As a defender, you're in a tough spot because you have coverage responsibilities behind you, and if you take off too quick to try and get him down, he might loft it over your head. So
better to track with your man defensively than try to go up and make a stop on the quarterback.
Exactly right. What you're hoping is that your guys in the front 7 can get him down.
The Broncos send out their punter now. He'll kick it away after a 3 and out on the opening drive of the game. This is fielded at the 27. A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return. And it's Chiefs football, 1st and 10. The KC offense set to go, led as always by the gunslinger, a former MVP in this league. It's Patrick Mahomes.
And when you think of Patrick Mahomes, you start to think about all of his attributes, and you realize very quickly you can't just put him into one box. No matter how the game proceeds, no matter what is needed, he tends to have an answer for it and plays accordingly.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 42. Here's Edwards-Helaire as they will start on the ground. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Looking to throw is Mahomes. They'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Well, partner, that's the start that you want right there. And you know he spent the entire offseason throwing hundreds, I'd probably say thousands of passes, getting ready for that moment. The first throw of the new season. He's dreamed about it, thought about it, and now it's out of the way.
set of downs.
That's a tremendous group effort there, because when you talk about offensive lines, the best ones, talk about guys that play in harmony, in sync, and getting things done, and they did that on that play.
Yeah, especially on 3rd and 1. Got to be in sync, and they were. Right back to Edwards-Helaire on 1st down. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling, and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Nice play for Kansas City, picking up the first 18 yards that time.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere, and they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people, but you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well, and that's what they just did on that play.
A first red zone opportunity the new year here as they come up now 1st and 10. 1st and 10, it's Edwards-Helaire with it. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Mahomes on the give to Edwards-Helaire. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. 8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Now Mahomes. This is caught. Touchdown! Sky Moore from 17 yards out. And the Chiefs are on the board here first in the season opener. Well, you've got to like that start on both sides of the football. You force the 3 and out, and then you score on your first drive.
Well, I know someone who doesn't like that start.
Well, yeah, the other side.
Yeah, they don't like that at all, right? This is not the way it's supposed to be. But what you just described, that's team football, all right? When you get a 3 and out, you're supposed to take advantage of it on the offensive side of the ball. You said, thank you very much for getting us drive. Let's put it in the end zone, and they did exactly that.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and that makes the score 7-0. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So now the second drive offensively coming up for the Denver Broncos. And Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that in the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
Meanwhile, Wilson's throw taken in here by Patrick. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. A Bronco first down there, 12 yards on the play.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender. Made him
what do you mean by that?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield. Then he curls back inside for the completion.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a run up the middle with Drake. And able to get this one all the way up to about the 46-yard line. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Here's Wilson. That'll be checked down to Drake. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Try to run for it with Snell. And some space here. And good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. That good for 19 and a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 34. From the gun, it's Wilson. This goes out wide for Drake. A pickup of about 3 yards as he's taken down at the 31. Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. From the shotgun, Wilson. And his throw is going to be incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. He'll get this one to Patrick. And he'll be brought down with a first down as the tackle's made at the Chiefs' 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Here comes Hamler on the jet sweep. He will push his way down to about the 14. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now Wilson. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. K.J. Hamler, the intended receiver. That takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, Wilson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Denver. Tim Patrick, a 14-yard touchdown. And the Broncos are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. That's an old-fashioned death march there, partner. Took them a lot of plays, but hey, they did the job.
And the defense always preaches getting off the field, making a play, and turning it back over to their own offense. Unable to do so. A long, sustained drive by the offense.
On here, Brandon McManus for the point after. And he starts his new year off on the right foot as well, as this kick is good. So that one a long 11-play drive, and it ends with a Denver touchdown. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Kansas City taking the field for their 2nd drive. Perfect start to the season on their first drive last time out, able to find the end zone. Now we'll see if they can make it 2 for 2 here in week 1. 3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up the touchdown.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And he stopped immediately there. No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say? Those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
An 11-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Chiefs first down. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 44-yard line. From the gun, it's Mahomes. Complete, the tight end, Kelsey. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. 23 yards, the final tally.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Here's Edwards-Helaire. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They go backwards there 2 yards, and 2nd and 1 is now 3rd and 3.
Well, I would have figured after the 9-yard run on the previous play, getting 1 more yard wouldn't have been much of a problem. But apparently it was, and now it's 3rd down.
The 8th play of the drive coming up. It's 3rd and 3. Now here's Mahomes. Got his man complete. Moore. And the Chiefs are going to have 1st and goal coming up as they're able to convert there on 3rd and 2.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
They'll run with Edwards-Helaire. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
And Brad, they went to a nickel defense, and that's a surprise this close to the goal line, because ordinarily you use the back end of the end zone, the sidelines as extra.
And he is in. Touchdown, Kansas City. Clyde Edwards-Helaire taking it out for 2 yards out. And the Chiefs have taken the lead. Almost looked too easy, and I think thanks goes to the offensive line for making it look easy.
Yeah, I agree with you totally on that one. I'm not sure how much everyone understands the preparations that go into a game for an offensive line, because there's a reason that running backs and quarterbacks give them big gifts at the end of the season after a big year. The consistency and the continuity it takes to know each other and execute their blocks is pretty impressive.
Butker now to add the extra point. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Well, this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. As this offense comes back out here, Charles, they're trailing in this ball game. And they've been on the sideline for a while. They did score their last time out, but they just had to watch that long, sustained drive, so we'll see if they can shake the rust off.
Yeah, and that's always a question that you have when you have to come off the bench after having sat there for a long time. Are you ready to go? Are you loosened up? But even more so, are you mentally alert and ready to put your best product out there?
And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, just the last thing you want to see here in the first quarter of a new season. Hopefully nothing serious. We'll step aside for a moment. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Wilson. He dumps it off to Drake. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. And he will have a Broncos first down, as that'll be a pickup of about 5 as they convert on 3rd and inches. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Broncos. Begin quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Now it's Wilson. Quick slant complete to Howard. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
He's certainly done a nice job spreading the field on this drive, and here he finds his big tight end for good yardage. And that's what you have to do. Keep defenses guessing about where you're going to go with the football.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. To throw again is Wilson. And the Chiefs are going to get him. It was Frank Clark that time who got in there to bring him down.
And every game we talk about what are going to be the keys as we go into it. Maybe that's a key for their defense today. Pressure the quarterback and make sure you play a good zone defense behind them, and they get their first sack of the contest.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Up the middle they go with Drake. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This will be from 56 yards out. And that will wind up just short. He had it on line. It ran out of gas at the end, and this will stay at a 7-point game.
And anytime you see a kicker trot out to try one for 56 yards, you know everything's got to come off perfectly for it to have a chance. If the laces aren't quite right, if he doesn't hit the fat part of the ball just right, it's unlikely to go through, and that one winds up no good.
The KC offense and Clyde Edwards-Helaire getting the ball back here. He's been effective so far, over the 40-yard mark here in the 2nd quarter. Don't forget about those guys up front, though. They've been effective, too.
The leverage game has been in their favor. They've been the ones who've been able to bend their knees, drop their hips, and get a little bit lower than the guys on the other side of the football. They've moved them out of the way for the runner.
Sometimes that's tough for those big fellas.
Not an easy thing for them to do.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Mahomes going to throw. It's Kelsey on the ground. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire. He finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. And hold on here because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. Well, you always hate to see injuries, especially tough here in week 1. Just hoping this is nothing serious. We'll take a quick timeout. This offense in midseason form here in the opener. It's 1st and 10. Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep. What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 73 yards rushing for him in his first half as he is looking at mid-season form here in the opener.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up 1st and goal.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
They scored touchdowns on drives 1 and 2, and now they're trying to make it a perfect 3 for 3 to start. To throw, it's Mahomes. He finds Moore in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. A great play there. Already his 2nd touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Chiefs have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. So a good start to the campaign so far for them here in week 1.
Yeah, all the things that you dreamed about in April and May and that you worked on in July and August, getting ready for this game, it's all coming together so far.
Butker on for the PAT. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So that drive in total 8 plays. And it was Sky Moore capping things off with a touchdown reception. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. And coming out now, the Broncos. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline, they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
No gain on the play there, 2nd down. Those are the plays this defense needs with the deficit they're facing.
It certainly is, and they've got to continue to swarm the football and hope that someone, while they're holding up the ball carrier, can get in there and rake it and lock it free. They need to get some takeaways as well.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
From the snap, he certainly looked like he knew where he wanted to go with the ball, but surprise, that guy was covered. So that took his attention elsewhere to no avail.
The offense on 3rd down tonight, they've converted 4 times out of 6. Not bad. This is 3rd and 10. Here's Wilson. And unable to connect, incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. The Broncos send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And take it right on the 30. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And Kansas City's offense now set and ready to go. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us.
They'll start this drive out on the ground. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
Meanwhile, Mahomes' throw taken in by Valdez-Scantling. He's got room at the 30, down the left sideline, and all the way in front. Kansas City touchdown. I don't think there's anyone who could possibly doubt how fast he could run in the open field. But if there were, he silenced those thoughts there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And his top speed, as computed by Next Gen Stats, 21.6 miles per hour. Extra point by Butker is on target. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Broncos about set to go on offense. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Now Wilson. It's complete to Drake. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space, because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Sanchez had a nice tackle on that play. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. There's Wilson to throw. We're looking for Judy, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. Boy, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Edwards-Helaire. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 92 yards for him on the ground so far tonight, as he has been terrific in this first half.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
Mahomes taps this forward. It's a jet sweep.
Now, they did get a little gain on this play, but all in all, a nice job defensively against the touch pass. They were able to string it out towards the sideline and never let him get the corner and turn it upfield for a bigger chunk of yardage.
On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be down close to the 1st down marker as he gets this to the Broncos' 20-yard line. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he gets the 1st down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. Got what they needed there. The drive continues with a 9-yard pickup.
There you go, partner. That's some old-school football right there. You need 1 yard? Give it to your bruiser or fullback and let him get the job done.
Now a first and 10 at the 11. Looking to throw is Mahomes. Quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire. And finding room to work, he's down to the 2-yard line. This will be play number 7 on the drive. 3rd and a yard. Edwards-Helaire, they'll try to run for it. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage.
Someone's been having a good game so far, and you know something? A lot of us been power running. They decided to turn him loose again on 3rd down, didn't they?
They did indeed. He delivered the tough yards. Throwing now is Mahomes. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Edwards-Helaire. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. What a stand this would be if they can get the stop here. 3rd and goal. Again, Edwards-Helaire. And this time he will score. Touchdown, KC. So the 2nd down run didn't work. They run it again on 3rd down and get in. I wasn't sure if they might pass it, Charles. We know that they like to mix it up down here around the goal line.
Yeah, almost felt like the offensive line said, forget mixing it up. Let's call our favorite running play over our best blockers, and let's get this one in.
Butker now to add the extra point. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. A 10-play drive that time. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And he returns this to the 22. Denver's offense now set to go. And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive. In particular, if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, some guys, you know they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, their goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack. On offense, sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. Got an open man here, and it's K.J. Hamlin. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. 3rd and 2, now Wilson. This one complete to Jerry Jeudy. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. Now it's Wilson. Throw right side, caught by O.J. Howard. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. So now 1st and 10 in Chiefs territory at the 49-yard line. Play action. Now Wilson. He'll get this one to Patrick. And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Wilson will throw again. That's complete. It's Okurobunom. And he'll be marked down right at the 15-yard line.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try waiting to the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Wilson. And it's caught. And the Broncos are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. Now a timeout called for by the offense as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. This is 1st and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Now here's Snell, and he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Now the Broncos going to use the second of their timeouts as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Now Wilson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
They're putting together a drive here in the final minutes of the half. But the coverage has been tight all game long, and they certainly want to keep them up the scoreboard here.
On 3rd and goal, Wilson. Forced, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Frank Clark now with his 2nd sack here on opening night.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure. These sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
4th down, Wilson trots off, and on comes Brandon McManus for the Denver field goal. Now the Broncos will use their 3rd and final timeout as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Now Brandon McManus for the Bronco field goal. From the left hash, a 31-yard attempt. The kick by McManus is good, and that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. The KC offense out of the huddle, ready for their next drive. And with a huge lead already, they may be thinking, hey, our job's complete for these first 2 quarters. Let's get this to the locker room. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. So we reach halftime here at our first Monday Nighter of the season. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll begin up at US Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, where you see the final score there. Derek Carr with 3 touchdown passes in the Week 1 victory. Next, we head off to check out another game, and they were victorious in that one over the visiting Jacksonville Jaguars. Kyler Murray with 3 touchdown passes in the Week 1 victory. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you, and you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Moving on, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for the Broncos in that first half. And despite the fact that they're looking up at a double-digit deficit at halftime, they were able to move the football through the air in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Chiefs, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half. It's a new season, so both of these coaching staffs likely making plenty of adjustments after that first half of football. So for the call of the second half here in week 1, we go back to Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach. Fine work as always as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. Here comes the Chiefs offensive unit as they'll have it to begin quarter number 3. And it's hard to imagine that the first half could have gone any better for them. So what's the approach here in the second half?
Just continue to play smart football because they got the other team down and they feel good about the position they're in. The obvious thing people would say is just keep attacking, but I think you also have to be smart about it. Avoid turnovers. That's about the only thing that can derail you at this point. Attack, but make sure you take care of the ball.
137 yards rushing for him now here in week 1. A very solid start to this new campaign.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
From up near the 40 now after the big play to start. Here's another 1st and 10. On play action, it's Mahomes. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. Here's a handoff out of the gun. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down with a nice little gain. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
Well, this play sequence was really kind of called in reverse. Incomplete pass on 1st and 10. Nice run on 2nd and 10 when probably everyone was expecting them to throw the football. Now, if you're the defense, what are they going to do on 3rd down? You're a little off balance.
Caught, Kelsey, left side. And this is going to be another 1st down as they'll make the tackle at the Broncos' 44-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10. One back in the backfield, he'll get the carry. A good space to operate there as he takes this down inside the 35-yard line. 10 more there and another 1st down.
And he continues to pile up the yardage. That puts him over $150 now. And this defense has really had its problems trying to keep him contained.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And they'll keep leaning on the running game, back to the ground. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
Not the kind of gain that we'll go absolutely crazy for, but it's the kind of gain that you need to have when you're running back in the NFL. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire with that low center of gravity and strength, he's going to get those tough, gritty yards for you when necessary.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
Let's not quibble about the gain there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives a much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
And down inside the 15 he goes. That one good for 12 yards into Kansas City first. Oh, lots of praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. They'll go option to the short side. That'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down. Mahomes now to throw. And he's got it. And in for the Chiefs touchdown. Travis Kelce, a 7-yard touchdown grab. Chiefs are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead. Well, Charles, no matter what the prognosticators say before the season, whether they think you're going to be good, bad, or somewhere in the middle, you never quite know how week one is going to play out. But for them, it has been an impressive performance, and they are well on their way to a 1-0 start.
Yeah, it's a lot like opening up presents, isn't it, partner? You're not quite sure what's inside, but you're hopeful, right? In this case, exactly what they were looking for, exactly what they need.
Extra point by Butker is on target, and the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. This one fielded at the 5. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. So now a look at the Broncos as they head back out there for their first possession of the second half.
CD, they certainly know the hole that they face as they begin the second half. They have to do what precious few teams have done in NFL history. That's try to come back from a 4-possession deficit.
And, partner, you know as that team gathers, they're saying to each other, you never say never, right? Because if you're on an NFL roster, that's how you have to think. You can always come back and win a ball game. And let's face it, we saw a certain Super Bowl, a 25-point lead late, that wasn't enough to put someone away. But that being said, this task is near impossible. Let's face it. And bottom line is, it officially becomes impossible if this possession is an empty one.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. On the give, this is Drake. And they only get a yard back there. They'll be left with a third down and long.
Well, this defense, they've got the 4-score advantage, and you can see why they continue to bottle up the run game. And really, they've just been sharp in all facets here in this one, CD.
Yeah, they've kept that offense in check the entire game, and I think it's been led by what you just talked about, that defensive front, which has not allowed them to run the football and establish control of the line of scrimmage.
He's got a man complete. And they're going to get this down to about the 37. Now, look, you're not going to be able to get this all back at once, but that certainly helps.
So you're saying 3 yards in a cloud of dust, not the strategy?
I go aerial attack.
Yeah, I think that's what has to happen. And if you're going to run it, you need to break off big chunks. We just saw a big play right there. They need plenty of those.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And he edges forward, but only gets a pair of yards out of it, and it's second down. Now that ground game just continues to struggle to really get any momentum in this ball game, Charles. And you're at the point here, third quarter, down 4 scores, probably going to have to put it in the air.
Oh, no question about it. So that's your only chance, your only opportunity. But think of the pressure you just put on your offensive line, because if you're a pass rusher, you're not even thinking about them running the football. All you're doing is getting into that sprinter stance and going after the quarterback.
On 3rd and short, Drake. And he's going to get the first down as they bring him down at the 23. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd. And here's a quick throw to Hamler on the edge. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. That one going for a gain of 11 and a Bronco first down.
A lot of ground left to make up, obviously. A lopsided contest, and we're already in the third quarter. Now, they won't get it all back in one play or one drive. That's cliche, but it's true, Charles. If they can just maybe get plays like that and get a little momentum built, they can get the scoreboard a little closer.
And can you add some blinders to the cliche, meaning keep these guys from looking at the scoreboard, because that doesn't help them at all right now. Their focus needs to be on finishing every drive with points.
And he is into the end zone for a Denver touchdown. Kenyon Drake, a 12-yard touchdown run. And the Broncos are able to make some inroads here to that deficit.
This opening game has certainly not gone their way to this point, but yeah, that touchdown, maybe a glimmer of hope for the long season ahead.
And no one in this league likes to talk about moral victories. No one likes to really just say, okay, well, maybe something went right. But you're exactly right about that. A little glimmer there, maybe they can carry it over moving forward.
After the touchdown, here's McManus now to kick it away. And they'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. Former first-rounder Clyde Edwards-Helaire ready to go here. He has a chance to hit that often elusive 200-yard mark on this drive.
And most of the time during a game, people aren't keeping track of individual statistics.
Are you sure?
Well, a lot of the runners kind of know. But I'll guarantee you, someone has sent word into the offensive line that he's got a chance to get over 200 on this drive. That should give them a little extra motivation because they love it when backs break that barrier.
Absolutely. Let's see if he can do it. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. While the medical staff checks on him, we'll step aside in this Week 1 contest. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action. Now Mahomes. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
This is just more of the same. This defense has had no answer on a lot of these throws. They let these receivers run wild, and here's another completion for good yardage.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Here comes Edwards-Helaire on the toss right. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That really sets him back. A loss of 6.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. And this Bronco defense really selling out to stop the run, and it pays off. They get him behind the line twice in a row. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. Here's Mahomes to throw. He's going to look deep for more. This is caught inside the 15. And they've got this down without the 12-yard line. Patrick Mahomes, he can do everything seemingly, and that time he just reared back and let it fly.
And he made that look effortless, didn't he? I mean, he's had a great game throwing the football. This is going to add to his yardage total in a big way. It's one thing to be accurate on your short and intermediate throws, but when you're hitting the bombs like those, look out.
And that throw, pretty impressive, and even 61 yards through the air. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Mahomes on the give to Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. 180 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night. Here's 2nd and 2 now from the 3. And Mahomes is going to keep it. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
Well, that's going to bring up a big call now because he is unable to make the play himself on 2nd down. Now you just have to wonder, will they keep the ball in his hands on 3rd down?
Mahomes looks to throw on 3rd down. He finds more in the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City. A great effort there with now 3 Week 1 touchdowns. And the Chiefs just continue to roll. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, gotta give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will come out to the 25 as Handler elects not to return it. And Denver getting set to take the field.
Well, we haven't exactly been treated to a nail-biter in this one, CD, and if they cannot score here, this one's pretty much all but over.
Are you saying that you feel like people are starting to think about getting out of here and maybe beating the traffic in order to get home or to their final destination?
Yeah, I don't think there's a whole lot of reason to hang around, especially if they can't score here.
Yeah, you're right about that because it has been pretty clear who the better team has been in this one. And in a league that we talk about every game being a one-score game as we go into it, watching this blowout, let's just say it's been unusual.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Counter play, Drake. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
That's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on 1st down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
On 3rd down, Wilson.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted. Trent McDuffie with a pick, and the Chiefs are going to take possession here at their own 47-yard line. Well, to be blunt, not a whole lot has gone right for this defense in this ball game, but that's something right there. Still in the 3rd quarter, it would take something around miracle territory for a comeback, but maybe that's a start, Charles.
It certainly is, and they're definitely showing that there's some fight still left in them. Hasn't been a banner day, but they're trying their best to put that disappointment behind them and find ways to make plays.
The Chiefs in good position to start out as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47.
Here's Edwards-Helaire as they will start on the ground.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down.
That was well played there defensively. Formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They go play fake. Mahomes going top shelf for Smith-Schuster. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Broncos take over, 1st down and 10.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
And he's tackled at the 38, but they doubled their yardage. The play started at the 19, and they gained 19. Now Wilson on first down. Finding the open man, and that's Tim Patrick. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Another first down there as this one goes for 25. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously for them, it looks daunting. I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard, trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13. Here's Wilson. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick-6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
And he's got it. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
Mahomes will lead the Chiefs up 1st and 10 at their own 21. The drive will begin with a run by Edwards-Helaire. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. He continues to have a big night here under the lights carrying the football.
And some guys prefer night games. For whatever reason, their bodies react a certain way. They love the spotlight. Maybe that's what it is. The best seats in the house, the ones where he's carrying the football for his offensive teammates. The worst seats, the 11 guys trying to tackle him on defense.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Mahomes. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
The quarterback got away with one there. Looked like he was in line for a pick, but instead it's knocked harmlessly to the turf.
Mahomes going to leave it with Edwards-Helaire on the draw. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL.
EA Sports.
Yellow.
On third down, here's Edwards-Helaire. And some nifty running here as he'll take this across midfield and down to the 47. It'll go as a gain of 10 and a Kansas City first down. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
So a 1st and 10 now in Denver territory at the 47. Now a carry for Edwards-Helaire. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. That goes for a Chiefs first down, 14 yards.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Here's Edwards-Helaire. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again. Now they'll throw with Mahomes. Now a swing pass. It's Edwards-Helaire. And he'll be brought down at the 27. He's already proven to be a factor in the running game on this drive. Now he gets involved in the passing game.
I think what we're seeing here is the modern version of workhorse in the NFL, being able to run it and catch it with equal proficiency.
And he won't quite make it. He needed 6. He got about 5. 4th down.
This team doesn't mind running the ball in any situation, and I thought he was going to get the first down the way the play developed, but the defense closed in and stopped him just about a yard short.
Butker's kick here is good, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And this will come out to the 25 as Hamler elects not to return it. And the football going back over to the Denver Broncos. And they knew coming in that this would be a tough place to go in and win a season opener. But this has just been a performance, to be frank, not to be proud of here as they trail big in this 4th quarter. On 1st and 10, it's Wilson.
trying to improvise. And Wilson's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Cameron Sutton. And the Chiefs are going to take possession of the football. And they've got the huge lead now. They have another interception on the defensive side. Seems like everything they touch in this one, Charles, turns to gold.
And they have to be awfully happy right there to get what appears to be one more for the road and help seal away one of their best efforts of the season.
So now here are the Chiefs as their offense makes their way back out onto the field. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable fourth quarter lead. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They'll run. It's Edwards-Helaire. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
To the right side, it's Kelsey. And the officials here are going to pause the game for a second. Looks like there's an injured Chief on the field. We'll step aside and get an update when we return to Arrowhead. A nickel set defensively for the Broncos here on 3rd down. To throw, it's Mahomes. And that is caught for the touchdown, Kansas City. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, already his 2nd touchdown here this opening weekend. And the Chiefs are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their fourth quarter lead. Well, CD, simply put, if anyone around the league wasn't paying attention to them to start the season, they will be heading into Week 2. This has been an impressive Week 1 performance.
They've certainly announced that they are ready to go, haven't they? They wanted to send a message out to the rest of the league. You better put your eyes on us. We may be someone you have to reckon with.
Extra point by Butker is on target. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to that big lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Here's the Denver offense now as they get set to take over here. And no doubt this is not the way that they had hoped to open their season. Thoroughly outplayed here in front of the national audience. So 1st and 10 here for Wilson and the Broncos at their own 25-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Well, what has been a fantastic game for this defense has been a work for this offense. And certainly the signal caller, Charles, has thrown all these interceptions. Another one there in this one, taken all the way back for the score.
Nice little spot in the post-game highlights to show this run of interceptions and great plays this group has made. They've been on it from snap one.
Butker on for the PAT. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Denver's offense now set to go. Where we stand right now in the fourth quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 35. Now it's Wilson. He finds his man, complete. That's Patrick. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a first down. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Finding his big receiver, Patrick, over the middle. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Again, Wilson. That's going to be caught by Judy. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Now a draw play with Drake. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
Every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Throwing now, Wilson on 1st down. Nowhere to turn here, and he's going to go down. Back at about the 37-yard line. Frank Clark in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
Guys with his talent in the pocket aren't supposed to be getting hit like this, and you know an intense conversation with the offensive line is going to occur after this one. Might not be from him, but the offensive line coach will have plenty to say about this game.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the 1st down sack. Wilson under pressure. They got him again. The Mississippi State man, Chris Jones, with a sack there.
You can almost see all the defenders rubbing their hands together with glee because we all know they relish the chance to bring down a quarterback of his caliber. Anyone who brings him down has plenty to talk about. Not just a sack, but a big win built off the efforts of this defense.
It's 3rd and long now for Wilson and the Broncos after that sack. Operating from the gun, Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
That's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
So coming on now is the field goal unit. They're going to try for 3, and he'll need all the leg he's got here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And that one will be no good. He never had it on line. It's well wide to the left, and they will remain well behind.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
The Kansas City's offense and Sky Moore is set to go once again. So far, he has the trio of touchdowns. Obviously, it's been a pretty good game for him.
So if this were hockey, they'd be throwing their hats out on the ice for the hat trick, right? I'm not sure exactly what you do in the NFL except applaud and continue to hope you see a little bit more of this. What a tremendous game.
You want to start a new tradition? What can we throw on the field?
I don't know.
Throw your mic out there.
A lot of fans would like that. Cut his mic off.
3 touchdowns so far.
Hey, it's not the most spectacular play, but I think most teams will take that every single time for the first play of a drive. Begin the series with positive yardage and set yourself up for a very manageable second down.
He'll get about 4 here, down to the 43-yard line. Edwards-Helaire as they run out of the gun. But he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on third down, we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball. You often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, third down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Edwards-Helaire. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. They'll run here with Edwards-Helaire. And a short gain down to about the 33. 5 yards on 1st down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on 2nd.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
A shotgun snap and a give to Edwards-Helaire. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. Give him 13 yards there and a Kansas City 1st down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line. On 2nd down, a run with Edwards-Helaire.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's a 3-yard pickup, and that sets up a 1st and goal. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
They'll run with Edwards-Helaire.
And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. It'll be a gain of 2, and speaking of 2s, it'll take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here onto their total. Nothing on 1st down, so the ball remains at the 8-yard line, 2nd and goal. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals.
So the first drive ended in 3. This time they take it down and punch it in the end zone.
So that first drive felt like they were just gathering knowledge, didn't it? Just enough to kick the field goal on the first one. And the second time, they put it all together and got it all the way to the end zone.
Butker now to add the extra point. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive.
And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Now after the touchdown, here's Butker on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So the Broncos coming out now.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
They'll throw on first down with Wilson. Out quickly to Judy. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
On second down, it's Drake. And he's going to be hemmed in and brought down right down the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one as it brings up a 3rd and 10.
Now that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
And it's going to be incomplete. He was able to catch it there on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. And it's going to bring up 4th down.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
The Broncos send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. Pulled in at the 24. There'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. Now this Chiefs offense gets set to go again. And they've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the fourth quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
Second down, back to Edwards-Helaire. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
Just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1, and to come through with a 1-0 start against a division opponent gives you a little something extra heading forward for the rest of the season.
Yeah, let's pile it all into one game, right? Opening the season and you open within the division. You knew the motivation was going to be there on both sidelines. One just executed better and earned the win.
So for the Chiefs, it's a fantastic start as they roll to a blowout victory here in the season opener. And they will hit the road next week to take on the LA Chargers. Meanwhile, for Denver, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try for a better outcome next week as they head to D.C. to take on the Washington Commanders.